Hello there, YouTube. We are back with some match play commentary for y'all. I'm joined by my brother from another mother, the Highwayman himself, TJ.
It's me, the Highwayman.
No duck today.
That's it. Well, you didn't call me a duck, so I didn't.
There it is.
I thought maybe it was banned.
But we do have another future feature for you guys. We've got TJ himself playing the Imperial deck on the left. We got Jose testing out TJ's iteration of armors. He has modified it a little bit, as you'll probably see in future videos, but I do think this is, and you said this yourself before we hopped on, like this is a pretty good example of the back and forth that Imperial and Magna can have, and also kind of showcases potentially a good matchup that Imperial has against Magna, so it should be a good one for you guys. We are hoping to get more BT-16 content up for you guys, just as May is coming around the corner. We've got the set release coming up, and we've also got a ton of regional and online events coming up. So definitely, something that we want to get out there for you guys. So a couple other reminders before we hop into the video. First, if you enjoy our content, you like what you're seeing, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It would greatly help us out a whole lot. And secondly, check out our socials. They'll be linked in the video description down below. They'll include our Discord, our Instagram, our Twitter, as well as our YouTube and TCG player affiliates. But yeah, without further ado, let's hop right into the round over here.
I'm not gonna lie, I was on the wrong video. I thought we were recording something else. I'm good now. We're fine. But I was totally on the wrong video initially.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so one thing that I have learned through testing, very much so, is that Imperial does have a pretty solid matchup in armors. I almost forgot to lay out security here. Don't worry, I catch it. It's fine. I know people are gonna be like, it does have security. I know technically the game started, but I haven't drawn a card yet, so don't give me that.
Also, I think the egg that Jose is using, correct me if I'm wrong, that should be the new Demi V.
Yes, okay. That is the new Demi V, which gives +1k if you have 2 or more colors all turns.
It's pretty good. Good.
Yeah.
But you've got some pretty good start here with some search. You already established the Davis and Ken Tamer, which honestly is probably the heart and soul of BT-16 Imperial. Like without this Tamer, the deck really doesn't do a whole lot. This Tamer is just so much gas.
Yes.
Oh my.
It does so much work for the deck. That's one thing Jose's like gotten so good at going up into Magna X instantly. He's very fast with getting up into it.
For those who don't know, Magna X can go over any Magnamon, similar to the original Magna X from BT-9. So he went into the starter, bounced the guy, and then was straight able just evo for 5, and have that big bad boy out there.
Yeah. And so the new Davis Ken is absolute gas. It lets me start a main play out of Vmon or a Wormmon without paying the cost. I just have to, if that Digimon's still on board by the end of my opponent's turn, like their next turn, I have to, or it gets bounced back to my hand. And then whenever one of my blue or green Digimon would Digivolve, I can suspend the Tamer to gain a memory.
Sure. And
additionally, if I'm DNA Digivolving, I can trash 3 sources from any of my opponent's Digimon. So I can just pick 3 sources that line around anywhere and just trash them. But anyways, yes, just that's a little descriptor there.
As we were talking, we see Jose use Final Zubagon Punch, which is a pretty busted card with Magna X. Gives it +3k, security check +1, as well as blocker reboot. It's already an inherent blocker, but you kind of get that sort of reboot, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Swing through security, 4 checks, because it was able to restand when security is removed when Digivolving proc, so it's able to restand and gain an additional 3k DP. You were able to hit 2 Davises, or he hit 2 Davises for you, so you're able to get some search.
Yeah.
So let's see what you can do here.
Yeah, so right now I'm currently just resolving all of my start of main phase effects with the new Davis Ken. So I choose to go ahead and play a Vmon off of one of them to do some searching, and then I choose to play a BT-16 Wormmon.
I love that Wormmon.
To try and find some pieces. That Wormmon is very good.
Yeah, being able to Digivolve from trash for a reduced cost of 1, I think in the late game is super, super nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to DNA here. I'll gain 2 memory off of the Sting and the XV, and then I'll gain 2 memory off the Davis Ken. Can't trash any sources because he is immune to effects right now.
Once again, that is a BT-16 VMon in the back. For those of you who aren't aware, we just didn't have the proxies for him at the time.
Yeah, I have them now, but at the time I did not have them. So
yeah, speaking of the fact that you can't, it's unaffected by effects in general is just so. I don't like how they worded that. I feel like if they worded it as like a immune to like Digimon effects, that would have been so much nicer.
Yeah, I agree.
But the fact that you give him that much protection is filthy.
Yeah. So he had Ice Wall active, so I opt just not to do anything in regards there. I know I needed to set up another stack because he had that VMon in the back, and I opt to go into the old ST Imperialdramon to go ahead and bottom deck the other VMon he had on board because I know I only had enough to really deal with 2 swings like that.
Yeah.
Jose goes ahead and goes into the ST Magna. He'll strip the top 2 sources off my Dragon mode. He will Awakening here and go into another Magna X. It looks like he's missing the security because he knows. So Jose is aware that Fighter mode is an absolutely cracked card. For those who don't know, the new
a very, very good counter to Magna.
Yes, that is the main thing that makes Imperial have a decent matchup into Magna. Is the fact that you can Fighter mode Ace and you can very easily bottom deck the Magnamon X because you're almost always going to have more Digivolution cards than them. So right now I'm just wideboarding like crazy because Davis Ken is cracked, and because I'm DNA Digivolving, that is a different Digimon, so they don't get bounced back. And right now I'm just pulling up the effects for BT-16 VMon, so I make sure I can remember everything.
Essentially, if another Digimon were to Digivolve, you can gain a memory. Essentially,
yeah, they Digivolve into a Digimon with the free trait.
Yeah. So then you go into the Sting. Here you should be able to DNA Digi, which you do. Going into Pail, gain 2 memory, or gain 1 memory and then gain 2 memory off of Davis and Ken's.
Yep. And I'll strip the sources off of the one Magna X that is not protected by effects right now. I should have suspended it, which I'm realizing now. I forgot to suspend it, but...
And then in theory, it could not have unsuspended, but doesn't matter since you end up bottom decking it anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'll just swing.
Yeah.
Because I know he has blocker here, but I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I have plenty of swings here to go through.
Yeah. And that is one thing that I have noticed playing against some of the Magna builds is that it does have big blocker. It can essentially restand if you check security, which is really annoying. But if you can get enough swings on board, which is exactly what you're trying to do here with the wideboarding things, you could, if you're in a good spot. Oh no, no.
Yeah, so he does need to Digivolve me because I hit the ST Magna in there. The VMon does end up living. I got the extra draw off of the check.
Which honestly, I guess de-digivolving is not terrible.
Actually, the VMon should be dead. I don't know why the VMon's still there.
It's not terrible, but Blinding Ray shuts that down because now you can't Fighter Ace and bottom deck it.
I think I forgot. I think we forgot to do the end of battle thing. Anyways, yeah, he Blinding Ray, so he wasn't able to swing for the last check because he had to waste his all turns effect then.
Yeah.
Because it does use up the unsuspend portion of the effect. So he hard slams out a jamming V.
But arguably, I think you're in a pretty good spot here.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. He will go into the ST Magna. He will just strip sources off of the Pale. Yeah.
Okay.
The VMon should be dead. That is a misplay on my part.
Yeah, because it did hit the Magna. It should in theory.
Yeah. Yeah, it should in theory die. I don't think it matters.
But you do end up picking the Pyle and the Tamer. The fact that Davis and Ken lets you play out these searchers for essentially free, which both have the end of turn you made DNA Digivolve, I think is just so good. And I think arguably too is one thing that other DNA decks such as like Shaco that we're going to be getting in BT-16 and Sylphie are lacking in a sense is that they don't have rookies that have that consistent end of turn you made DNA Digivolve, which almost forces you to what's the word for it? Like string along your plays that same turn, whereas with Imperial, you have Davis and Ken as well as those end of turn things where you can gain memory and then gain memory off of the level 4's DNA Digivolving as well, which just make it so much faster.
Yeah. The Vmon did end up doing a swing and chip there. It didn't matter. I had more than enough swings and unsuspends past him blocking one of my stacks. I also had other fighter modes in hand that I could have just gone into and chose not to swing with like the dragon mode and then switch to checks. I would have had plenty of memory too, regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Vmon should have been gone. But otherwise, it didn't really matter. I had so many swings on board
well
at that point.
Well played match by you.
Yeah. So the thing is with Imperial versus Magna, like, because I know a lot of people are like, there's a lot of people that are like, what do I do about it? How do I fight Magna? How do I deal with Magna? Because so many decks next set are so defined by their ability to whether they can get around Magna X or get over Magna X.
Yeah.
Or just get through. They can like outlast or something. They're just their ability to play into that matchup. Imperial is definitely one of the better decks for sure. Also because Imperial runs pretty good security bombs too, like Giga Death and Mega Death. But yeah, as time goes on, the more I'm just really, really loving Imperial. But it definitely is about speed because armor still is very fast. And if they sometimes they're just gonna go faster than you could ever dream of, and you're gonna just lose before you can do anything.
Right. But no, I mean, I think both decks are very good. And Imperial does love to interact with a board, which armors will allow you to do because they do tend to spit out a lot of bodies, and and you can interact with them to help proc your effects off. And then using Awakening of the Golden Knight can trigger the Dragon Mode's effect to go into a fighter ace, which could also potentially kind of screw them up as well. So they do have to be wary of that when going into the Imperial matchup, because anytime you Digivolve via effect, Dragon Mode allows you to potentially fighter ace them.
Yeah. So here, because I have a Blue Digimon in play, I can play the ST Sting for 3. I go into the BT-12 Paleodra, which lets me trash 3 sources.
Which I'm loving in this format as well.
Yeah, he's a very, very good card. He does a lot of work right now. The fact that also that the one Digivolving to trash a source is not like, you don't have to DNA to do it, is huge.
Yeah. Particularly against armors too, right? Because if you don't, if they don't have their armor traits in the stack, then they can't really do anything.
Yeah, if they don't have armor traits, and if they don't have or like even for like that BT-7 Magna, now I can't armor purge into a rookie.
Right.
Right. He's just stuck being what he's at.
Nice. You just dropped a Davis and Ken, so he does have potentially a good amount of memory to work with, but I mean you're set up pretty nicely as well. Okay. Oh, okay. Heavens.
Yep. So Jose just opts to try and clear my board as best he can.
Sure. Use the Davis and Ken effect to play out the Wormmon. Yep.
I'm debating which one I want to grab there. Grab the Sting. Bottom deck the 2 rookies.
Go into a XV, dropping the starter Sting. Or sorry,
and the turn of the worm. Yeah. Go into. Yep. Gain a memory off of the 2, and then gain a memory off the Davis Ken. Strip the sources off that new Magna.
Arguably, I feel like if you were seeing the new BT-16 pile here, you easily are just like plowing through. Like you're taking him, you'd have so much more aggression on board right now. Yeah,
those Magnas would not be on board. For sure. It is definitely one thing that was very unfortunate that I wasn't seeing them, because that's the only bad thing about the BT-12 Paleodra is that it just doesn't really have much in the way of aggression. At this point, I'm realizing I don't really have a rookie in hand, so I'm a little bit spooked. So I'm considering what I want to do, because he does have 2 Magnas on board. I have to just drop another Davis and Ken.
Sure. And I will say too, like that is the thing about armors as well, is that it just looks like Jose does not. He doesn't have the Magna right now, and if they don't see the new Magna X, it's essentially just armors again, which is very much like, it's still a strong deck, don't get me wrong, but it is very beatable. It's just now you have this top end that's super cracked, but if they don't see that top end, which I mean it is a 4 of out of a deck of 50, like they're gonna see it, but they're not gonna see it all the time. So you have ways to beat it.
So I have to Giga Death here. I know it's a lot of memory to pass over, but I'm of the mind of like I need to slow down some of these swings that he has. Right now, Jose's just trying to draw as much as he can. He does find the Magna X, but pass his turn. I do finally manage to see something, so I opt to Evo into the Worm here. Evo into the XV for 1 off the on play. And then I realized, wait, no, I meant to go into this thing. Yeah, keep in mind, this was us still practicing the matchup as well.
Yeah.
This was not in tournament. Setting, This is us just trying to practice and learn stuff. I gained 2 memories off the Evo because I don't have the end of turn DNA, I'm realizing. So I go ahead and just hard slam the XV down. Really keep turn. Go into the new Imperialdramon. Can't do anything about the Magnos. So I'm just trying to think about how I want to do this. So I just drop a Davis. Top 3, grab the 2 Digimon, bottom deck the Mega Death. And yeah. Pass it over to Jose.
Does promote, then he goes into the Fighter Ace, which does allow you to bottom deck, which is huge for you.
Yeah, and then Jose just scoops there because we were all having to get going.
Yeah.
And at that point, his Magna X was gone. He didn't have another one in hand, I don't think. So Jose knew it was kind of over, and the security didn't really have anything in it. So I did him taking 2 there. They were practice matches, so we're still learning a little bit. I will say I feel like I'm a lot more practice with the deck now than I was then.
No, yeah, you've gotten really good at it. So I think you're only gonna get better with it. And Imperial is a strong deck. As I think a lot of us who are testing now for BT-16 are realizing. I've got a couple buddies up here in the city too that I've been talking to, and they're like, yeah, Imperial's straight gas now. So yeah, it's really good. And for those of you who are looking for, not to hype the deck up a whole lot here, but like for a relatively more affordable deck, like Imperial should be pretty darn affordable too come BT-16 release. Yeah, because a lot of the pieces are pretty they're like common or uncommon cards, a couple SRs here and there, but nothing too crazy. Whereas Magna X, I can guarantee you, will probably be like arena level secret prices. You need 4 of in the armor deck, so it's probably going to be hovering at like 40 to 50, which I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if this does limit people's accessibility to the decks depending on how much it is, but we'll see.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think play adjustments and little slight misplays aside, you guys can definitely see probably how Imperial is very, very, it's just so much pressure to it. And I mean, against a deck that doesn't have the protections that Magna X does, like, Jesus, man. Shoo. Yeah. There's so much pressure coming out of Imperial right now. It's awesome.
And the fact that Partition allows you to spit out your lore ends again, just to let you
Partition
DNA once again, is crazy.
Is so much so what DNA needed to be a relevant actual form of play again, like a play style again for decks. It's a shame that Masty and Ragna still don't get it. That's abysmal. But anyways, yeah,
we could go on about this for a while. But definitely get excited for Imperial. We will try to get at least a couple future feature matches for you guys up until BT-16 release, just to kind of give you guys something to watch out for. We do have a good amount of Imperial here, so like I said earlier, let us know what you guys want to see. We will try to definitely spice it up a little bit in future rounds, so we'll try to get the whole gambit for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and thank y'all for tuning in. Catch you on that flippy flip. Bye bye.